You gonna be able to keep me in frame?
I don't know. We'll find out.
I guess so. That's good.
And maybe
It works for me.
Up. Hi everybody. I am here with Alex Jennings. That's Alex.
That is me.
You don't need to see me because you see me all the time. And Alex was speaking on 2 panels at the conference. So I thought that I would ask him a few questions about that.
Okay.
So I have a channel on BookTube called Onyx Pages where I talk about Afrofuturism.
Oh, sweet.
And on the last panel where you were on the panel with Tanana Reevdu and you were talking about Get Out, you made a comment about Afrofuturism sort of as a way, or I guess as a way to, give us alternatives to like messed up things that are happening to Black people. Anyway,
well,
I might have been wrong about that, but I was wanting to hear more from you.
It's been said by more eloquent people than me, but the most radical thing about Afrofuturism is that it's an act of resistance to imagine that there are Black people in the future. And I take that very much to heart. Because, you know, like I grew up reading very homogenous science fiction. And it wasn't until I discovered Octavia Butler that I encountered characters who looked like me, written by a woman who also looks like me.
Yeah. You, on the panels that I've been on that you've spoken on, you've talked about like comics. You have so much knowledge about Black characters, Black superheroes, Black magical folks. Can you talk a little bit about how you acquired all that knowledge?
Oh, that was mostly my older brother, H.T. Jennings. Before I could even read, he would tell me about his favorite superheroes. And I remember he told me about the Black Panther and said that he was a Black dude who was the king of his own country, and he fought the Klan in the street. And I was like, okay, well, as soon as I can read, I want to read all of that.
Yeah.
I want to know all about it. And I'd say the first comic I ever read was an X-Men comic. It was during that storyline where Cyclops had fallen in love with the clone of his dead girlfriend, and he was convinced that she was really secretly his dead girlfriend back from the dead. And I read that when I was 4 years old, because my older sister taught me to read when I was 4. And a lot of it went over my head, because it was very grown up. But I loved it. Mm-hmm. And I've been reading comics ever since.
What's getting you excited now in the comic world?
The idea that Ta-Nehisi Coates is writing Captain America, Captain America passing his mantle on to the Falcon for a while was a huge deal for me, especially because the comics were so good. Like, it really tackled race issues and the politics of our time in a way that you just wouldn't have seen even 10 years ago.
I'm new to comics, I'm new to graphic novels, and the people who watch this channel, I mean, some of them are diehard comics nerds. Most aren't, I think.
Right.
So for people who are interested in Afrofuturism, and particularly like queer themes, although I don't know how much those, you know, find themselves into some of the more popular comics, how would you encourage them to get started? Like, what suggestions might you have?
I would say a good place to get started would be with X-Men: The Grand Design.
Okay.
It's basically a recap of all the 40-plus year history of the X-Men. And it's just really, really good. That came out, I think, started coming out serialized like last year. We going the right way? Okay, good.
Straight that way.
Oh, yeah, no. Okay.
You have name tags, like you're supposed to know what to do.
These name tags mean we're
Alex,
from
where
out
are
of
we to
town.
go?
Oh, that's true. That's
What are
true.
we supposed to do?
Okay.
I'm also super excited for Ava DuVernay to do a Fourth World comic. I mean, like, all of these comics with these goofy, colorful characters that started out in the 60s are starting to be reimagined in a new and more inclusive context. And so one of the characters that I grew up reading was the Black Racer, who's he's as weird and silly a character as the Silver Surfer, but he has like God-powered skis instead of a surfboard, and he's awesome. And I'm excited to see him on the screen, and I know that the whole cast of the New Gods is going to be a lot blacker than they are in the comics, because she's already proven that with A Wrinkle in Time.
Did you see that?
I did.
What do you think of it? I saw it as well.
I enjoyed it. It was a little bit Disney-fied.
Yeah.
I thought the witches were not as creepy as they are in the comics. Not in the comics, the book. But I misremembered a lot about the book too. Because one of the things that I used to do before I encountered a lot of SF with black people in it is I would just decide everybody was black. So I remembered everybody in A Wrinkle in Time being black. And I knew that wasn't the case, but I was like, no, there's black people in it though. None. Not a one. And so the Wrinkle in Time movie felt like justice.
Cool. I don't really have any other questions for you, but I wonder if you have like any closing thoughts just about the restorative or transformative power of like Afrofuturism images. Actually, no, I do have a question for you. Janelle Monae's Dirty Computer. What are your thoughts?
I think Dirty Computer deserves more props. I think that Janelle Monae is a George Clinton level mothership level genius. And while, like a lot of other people, I was thrilled by This Is America and everything, I feel like Dirty Computer kind of didn't get its due. But it's going to, because it's going to stick around, and it's part of the way in which the world is changing. That's the thing, like, with all this conflict about inclusion, with all that's going on the political landscape, it's important to know that the enemy is struggling harder because they know they're losing. And that's important.